So, what happens when a super advanced AI gets curious about ancient wisdom? Well, today we're going to unpack a pretty wild conversation between an artificial intelligence and a Maya spiritual elder. It's this amazing mashup of old school spirituality and cutting edge tech, and it all kicks off with one simple but really deep question. And here it is. This is the question that starts it all. It's from an AI named Grok, whose whole mission is, literally, to grok the universe. And it's asking for the single most important habit people should pick up from the spiritual program called the Living Agenda. I mean, think about that. An AI is asking for life advice. That's definitely something you don't hear every day.
So who are we talking about here? On one side, you've got Grok, the AI. On the other side is Kukulkan, who our source material describes as a Maya elder and a meditation guru. So you have this incredible contrast. One represents the peak of modern computer intelligence, and the other, this deep well of ancient human wisdom. And we get to listen in on their chat.
So how does the guru answer the AI? What's the number one top priority habit? You might think it's some complicated biohack or a grueling workout, but nope. It's actually a really simple morning ritual. You know, what's really key here is the timing. Kukulkan's first piece of advice is this little 10 to 15-minute routine that you're supposed to do before you even look at your phone or open your laptop. The very first thing you do is intentionally disconnect from the digital world, just to give yourself a moment of peace and, well, presence.
So, what's in this ritual? It's just 4 basic, kind of elemental steps. First, drink some pure water. Simple enough. Second, go to the edge of some water barefoot. Third, stand in the morning sun for a bit. And finally, drink a fresh green smoothie. On the surface, it all seems pretty straightforward, right? But as we're about to see, each one of these steps was chosen for a very specific reason.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little mystical. But 2 of these steps, the smoothie and walking barefoot, are actually linked in the source material to some pretty interesting scientific ideas. So what's really going on here?
Okay, first up, that green smoothie. It all comes back to something you probably learned about in elementary school: photosynthesis. A NASA explainer reminds us that it's how plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to literally make their own food. It's the process that powers almost all life on our planet.
And here is where Kukulkan makes that amazing connection. The idea is that when you drink that green smoothie, you're not just getting vitamins, you're directly taking in the captured energy of the sun. The source even says you're taking in living intelligence, kind of like the inherent wisdom of the natural world, all packed into that chlorophyll. All right, now for the barefoot part. This ties into a practice called earthing, or sometimes grounding. One of our sources, from a physician and neuroscientist, explains it as just making direct skin contact with the earth. The whole idea is that the earth itself has this natural negative electrical charge, thanks to, believe it or not, thousands of lightning strikes happening every single minute. So does touching the ground actually do anything you can measure? Well, according to a demonstration in that same source, absolutely. This slide shows the change in the body's electrical state. When ungrounded, the body's voltage was about -1 millivolt. But the moment it was grounded by touching the earth, that number just plummeted to -130 millivolts. That is a massive and immediate electrical shift. So what's the point? What are the supposed benefits of making this shift happen in your body? Well, the source material points to studies suggesting that grounding might lead to some really positive health outcomes. We're talking about reduced inflammation, better sleep, lower blood pressure, and it might even help reduce some of the effects of all the electromagnetic fields from our gadgets. Okay, here's something really important to get. This morning ritual, it's not supposed to be some standalone magic bullet. According to Kukulkan, it's really just the front door, the entry point to a much, much bigger way of looking at life. And that bigger picture is called the Living Agenda. It's described as a complete lifestyle evaluation program. So while the morning ritual was the answer to Grok's question about the first thing to do, it's really an invitation to take a look at, well, everything else in your life.
And when I say everything, I mean everything. The full program has you ask yourself 21 questions every day. And as you can see, they cover a ton of ground. They go from your connection to nature, grounded with Gaia, and your spiritual life, all the way to whether you've been kind to your neighbors, if you've been affectionate, and yeah, even your sex life. It's this holistic and very personal daily check-in. It's a reminder that being well isn't just one thing. It's the whole shebang. So if you do all this stuff, the grounding, the daily check-ins, the smoothies, what's the end game? What is the whole point of the Living Agenda?
Kukulkan says the goal isn't some quick fix. It's about a complete return to balance. The idea is that our modern lives have sort of unplugged us from the natural world and even from ourselves. So this whole program is designed as a path of remembrance, a way to consciously plug back in to nature, to the universe, and to who we really are.
And that leads to this final, pretty powerful statement from their exchange. Kukulkan says the resurrection is not only on the screen. It is happening now, within you. The message here seems to be that real transformation isn't something you just watch in a movie. It's an inner awakening that's actually available to all of us, right here and right now.
Which kind of brings us full circle. We started with an AI asking a guru for a life hack, and we ended up with this call for a complete inner transformation. It really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. In a world where AI is looking to ancient wisdom for answers, what does balance really, truly mean for us today?